Boom! And I am live here at In Your Head Wrestling Radio. I'm the internet icon, the pride of the pilgrims, handsome Jackie Jones. Oh, man. And I'm live here Wednesday night for the AEW Dynamite Jackie Jones live post show. Thanks, Mike Whitcomb is here. We got Chi-Town Matt in the house. And everyone else, come on over every Wednesday night. We're live here. You go to youtube.com/C for channel /IOH Wrestling /live every Wednesday after Dynamite and live every Tuesday night for In Your Head. Mike Whitcomb says 2 nights in a row. That's right. Every week from now on, we're going to be live Tuesday nights, me and the Inchman. And then Wednesday, it's going to be me going solo to Jackie Jones show for the AE Dynamite post show. Now, if they don't have AEW on Wednesday night, I probably won't do it. But for the time being, boom, here. Judas in my mind. All right. So AEW Wrestling, All Elite Wrestling. It opened up. I got my notes here. So if you see me looking over here, I'm looking at my notes. Should I be like Jim Cornette and rip them up? But I'm in a notebook, so I can't really rip them up. I'm not that strong. So it opens up. We're going to go for the Jurassic Express versus FTR. What is FTR? Fear it's not the revival. What is it? It's from the Bible. I like the name. I forget it now. But anyway, Young Bucks come out. I was making a cup of tea at the time. Or no, I was making my dinner. I was making some very yummy eggplant parm over zoodles. But anyway, none of that nonsense here. The Jackie Jones show. It's all serious wrestling here. Young Bucks came out and they super kicked the ref. Double super kick party right on the ref. Knock his head off. I was like, hell yeah. Fear the revolution. There we go. I don't think that's right. Vic. So double super kick on the ref. I dug it. I like this heel turn by the Young Bucks. You also have Kenny Omega turning heel, which I really like. I haven't been a big Kenny Omega fan in AEW. Wrestling wise, definitely. He has some great matches, some of the best tag matches, him and Hangman Page, but I don't really like the character or the personality. And I thought maybe it was just him, but then he's kind of doing the slow heel turn, and I think it fits him. Revelation. There we go. Go. Thank you. Revelation. Fear the revelation. So anyway, we got the Young Bucks super kick. The ref, they get out of the ring. They're talking about fines. I like this. I'm digging this. I like the heel turn. I'm into it. I didn't know how I'd feel about Young Bucks. See, I've not watched a lot of them outside of AEW. And they actually made me fans of theirs watching Dynamite because I wasn't a big fan going in. I dig these guys now. And so to me, they're baby faces, like kind of classic baby faces. So I didn't know about a heel turn, but I think it's working. And definitely, it's working definitely for Kenny Omega, much improvement. So we had Jurassic Express versus FTR. I'm a fan of both teams. I think Luchasaurus, like he's got a great look. He's very athletic. He does some cool moves, but I think ever since or maybe it's just because I've seen him more, over time. I do think he's too much slap happy. And I know some people complain about that about everybody. And I do know it's kind of a big deal in wrestling. Everyone's doing the leg slap, but he does it very obvious and does so many of them. And I think he does too many flips just for the sake of flips. But I still like the guy. It's just a nitpicking on him. But this was good stuff. A lot of double team moves. Really a classic tag match. FTR puts together really good matches. I love Tully Blanchard with FTR. I like them as tag champs. You have an established team as the champs. And I also like the story that they're doing where it's a non-title match. And to get the title match, you have to beat them. If you're going to do a non-title match, that's exactly why you do it. So often on Raw for years now, for probably about the last 10 years, we would see these non-title matches. And it just meant that usually the champ would lose. Sometimes they wouldn't even tell you it's a non-title match. You think maybe, we got a new champ. Then they would just tell you afterwards it wasn't for the title. And it wouldn't even lead to a feud or even a title match, which really defeats the purpose of someone being the champ. It really just devalued the title and made no sense. This way, they have to really beat the champs twice to get to win the belts. I like this. It's a minor thing, but I think it really adds. It's a basic storytelling in wrestling, and I think it adds a lot. Yeah, this was good stuff. A lot of double team moves, a lot of tag team moves, a lot of tag team psychology of cutting up the ring, and then at the very end, they're really basic stuff where they distract the referee and use teamwork to cheat and get the victory. I liked it. Backstage, we had Jake and Jericho. They took out Matt Hardy, which I like this. It gets Matt Hardy out of the private party match. I like this for a lot of reasons. Maybe Matt's hurt and shouldn't be out there. I know it'd be just managing, but I also think it's good because private party is an established tag team. And so often we see in wrestling that you put together two main event wrestlers or two single stars, and automatically they can beat any tag team, established or not. Which kind of well, what good is it being a tag team if any two wrestlers who are paired up who normally aren't a tag team guy can just beat any tag team? This way, they were at a disadvantage because they're two young guys and they don't have their new mentor with them, their new coach. So it puts a little bit of a disadvantage on them, which goes into Jake and Jericho beating them in their first match. We had Hangman Page versus Kazarian. And at first I was writing in my notes, this is way too long and competitive because there was no build to this match. And in my theory, I think if you have a non-built match, it really shouldn't be going long because you're really just showcasing Adam Page and not showcasing Kazarian because he really hasn't had much of a push at all in AEW. They turned this on me. By the end of the match, I was disagreeing with my earlier self. Great stuff. Hell of a match. Really got me into it. I like Kenny Omega on commentary. Really subtle heel stuff. He starts laughing, but not over the top, laughing about Kazarian almost getting the pin. I like all this stuff. It really worked for me. And the match was tremendous. So, yeah, by the really long competitive match, you put Adam Page over, but I think it really helped Kazarian. So I hope Kazarian gets something after this. Hope they do something with Kazarian. Because if you don't, this could have elevated both guys. And also, if you don't, it looks weird that Adam Page would have this really competitive match with Kazarian if you'd ever see Kazarian again for a couple weeks. So yeah, I think next week you have to do something with Kazarian, give him a win. Then we had a video package to put over the main event tonight. Proud and Powerful. I don't know if they're even still using that name, but Tito Ortiz and Santana versus the Best Friends. They really put this match over as a big deal, which I'm all about because I'm a big fan of both teams. Best Friends with Orange Cassidy. That's my boys there. To me, it's comedy that works. I don't like bad comedy, but I'm not against the idea of comedy in wrestling. I like the team. And so, yeah, they put it over. And this was a time, there's some comedy I'll get into, but the match itself was very serious, very brutal. But we'll get into that later. But they did a good job all show really building up to this match. So kudos to that. Then we had so MJF and Wardlow come out. I thought it was going to be a promo, but it was a match. And so he was fighting some Jobber McGee, I think. By the way, I noticed Jim Cornette has taken my McGee gimmick. I have proof. You can go back to the histories, the annals of In Your Head. There's the McGee. That's a Jackie Jones original. So Sean Dean. I had John Dean, and then I had Don Dean, but then I realized it was Sean Dean. So it was a Sean Dean total squash match, which was perfect for me. You're there to put over MJF. MJF's tremendous talker. Good wrestler, too. And I think you put over that his finisher can just take someone out quickly. This is all you need. You don't need a 12-minute match with like a job dude. I know they were doing that before. They're getting away from that. I'm happy about that. Just put him over. Really good promo. I loved it afterwards. MJF's like, he's making Justin Roberts give him his full title about undefeated because he's saying the loss versus Moxley didn't count because Moxley cheated, which he has a point. I like it when the heel's right, especially, I think the bad guy should always be right in their own mind, but he has a point here and it works. So, talking about all the factions in AEW, and so he's going to join a faction. Interesting, kind of a takeoff of the old time. I remember when they've done this a couple times. Bam Bam Bigelow on Macho Man, and it wasn't to join a faction, but it was like what manager would get them. And so, like every week, they would be out there with different managers, would be trying to vie for them, and then it always would end up a new manager. That's how Elizabeth came in with Macho Man, and less successful. That's how Humperdinck ended up managing Bam Bam Bigelow. So, and I think we'll find out. Could be wrong, but I'm thinking that it leads to a whole new faction with MJF. I did kind of feel bad for Wardlow though. He's like, I'm just a lone wolf, and then his buddy's standing right there behind him. But it plants the seed that they're not really friends, and he just looks over the guy. And I know some people are like it's too early to split them up, and I agree. But I don't think it's ever too early to hint at things like that. I mean, you can hint at stuff for years before it happens. Then people just wait for it. And why not? If this guy's an asshole, why wouldn't he treat this guy like shit? Just makes sense. And I love Tony just going, what a pompous ass. Tony Schiavone's the man. So then we had a video. I like this video too. It was a Taz video. I'm not a huge fan of Taz, but I like this. It was anyway, before I get that, Technigo says maybe it's fact from MLW. See, I'm not really familiar with MLW, so I don't know, but what his faction is. But yeah, I'd be all about this. And I'm totally with him leading a faction. He's such a great promo guy. He can cut the promos for the team, put some guys that are good wrestlers, but maybe not the best talkers with them. Totally works. So Taz had this video, and he's putting over the finishes of Ricky Starks. And I really like this. It was like very old school, showing, like why his spear would work and why his the Rochambeau would work. And it kind of reminded me, I remember back in the day, like when Ric Flair would put on the figure four, and like Gordon Soley and other people would say, it's the 4 points of pressure. If this is real, it's good to explain to you why these moves would hurt, which, they don't always do. I mean, some stuff you could just see, like, oh, a powerbomb, the guy's landing down, it's going to hurt him. Stuff. But, it shows you, like, well, where the impact is and why this would hurt and take someone out. Maybe it would lead to a pin. I liked it. I thought it was real simple stuff, and it worked. Eddie Kingston comes out. Great promo. Eddie Kingston's a man. I know he's been repeating himself on further or previous weeks. I thought this was good stuff. And it also went back to my point last week when people were kind of bitching that they were already leading to the breakup of this team. But I didn't see it that way. I saw it as it was really shown that the team was splintered before. That was the reason for Eddie Kingston to come in and put these guys together, because they were 4 guys who aren't connected. And even the Lucha Brothers, this was explaining why they're having, a bit of a losing streak, was they're not on the same page. Then you have Eddie Kingston there to actually put them together. So it wasn't teasing the breakup. It was actually teasing the unity. It was the reverse of that. I actually think that was really smart storytelling. So I dug that. And then he just kill these guys. So they go out in the crowd, throwing, the audience, and just start beating ass. It makes sense because normally you can't do that because you can't beat up fans. Or if you do that, people know, oh, well, that guy's a plant. But right now you have an audience of wrestlers, so why not utilize it? These guys can all take bumps, so go out there and beat them up. I liked it. This worked for me a lot. And I've always been a Butcher and Blade fan. And then Eddie was like, in Blade, now you got to get your house in order, which is, I do think they should probably explain this a little more, because I didn't get it till, I think someone might have said it on the Facebook page or something, but it was in reference to Blade's, I guess his real life wife is Bunny, which I didn't even know that. And now she's with QT Marshall. So you have to be really hardcore fan to know that, because I didn't know. And, I do the show every week. So, I mean, I still dig it. I like that they don't beat you over the head with it, but I think they need to explain it a little bit more, because if I didn't read the Facebook page, I wouldn't have known that. So we get Jake and Jericho versus Private Party. Thought this was great stuff. Again, this is a match. I think some people say, oh, it's too competitive because it's the first time Jake and Jericho together. But I disagree. Like I said earlier, Private Party is an established tag team. So you don't want them just to get jobbed out, because I always hated that in wrestling. It would happen all the time. I don't want to just pick on WWE, but it would always happen. Like they'd put together, Triple H and Austin or whoever it would be, and they would immediately win the belts because it would show that like if two single stars are together, they'll beat any tag team, which really puts the whole tag division like makes them look like goobers. It's like, do guys only get into tag teams because they can't make it as singles? And that shouldn't be the case. So this is an established team. They go toe to toe with Jake and Jericho. They're at a disadvantage because Matt Hardy's not there with them. It really worked for me. I liked you had the young guys, doing a lot of high flying moves and double team moves to take down the big man and the veteran. And really, Jericho plays more of a big man in AEW because he's a heavier guy now, and a lot of the guys are smaller. Plus, I like the idea he's the veteran, so he's got to be tougher. I mean, you can do that in wrestling. That's one of the beauties of wrestling is I don't want to say not real, but I mean, for lack of a better term, it's not real. So in legit sports, you can't have Brett Favre come out and play in the Super Bowl. You can't have Larry Bird comes in for a game. In wrestling, you can have your legends still compete, even if they're slower. And if it was real, they'd probably get the young guys would beat them. But in wrestling, you don't have to, we're within reason. Like if a guy looks like clearly out of shape or like he's 80 or something, but in reason you can do that. And why not play that part of the show is that if you are a veteran, you have a one up on these guys because you're experienced. So you have the big giant guy for AEW, Jake Hagar and Jericho, and then you have the two young guys, and they have to do the double team moves and high flying to take them down. And then really, once it starts going, they start to ground those guys. The big guy, and he's also a technical wrestler. They ground the high flyers. I thought it was a well put together match. I liked it. Evil East versus Thunder Rosa. This was great. A negative aspect of AEW for a lot of time was not I wouldn't say overall, but I would say for the majority with the women's was the women's division. There was a lot of them that weren't particularly great. They're bringing in some better women, I think. These two are the best, two of the best, and they really work well together. It's for the NWA Women's Championship. Yeah, it's a really good match. Thunder Rosa kept the belt. I don't know the deal with like she probably can't lose. I don't know, but hopefully they keep her around. I like the idea they bring in NWA champ. She defends the belt on the show. Why not? I like it. And then JR, he was I guess the commentary team was really on the whole night. I thought. I know sometimes people say like they think that they're out of it. Like Tony doesn't try. I never really see that. I always think he seems like he's having a good time. And I think you could tell though that JR actually liked the show because sometimes you could tell he's not necessarily loving everything, but he was really into this and he was like, I'm going to send these two ladies a case of barbecue sauce. It's good stuff. Next segment I wasn't crazy about, and that's we cut to Miro, former Rusev. He's lifting weights and he's there with Penelope and Kip Sabian. That part's fine. Kip Sabian, I'm not in love with. I don't know. I do think he's improved since coming because I thought there was nothing to him at all when he first came to AEW, and I think he's definitely gotten the confidence and he's improved on air, but I still don't think he's on the level to put Rusev with him. I think it's a real step down for Rusev, who to me is a legit main event guy and one of the better all around wrestlers of this recent time. So I think that's a mistake. And so I think I'm gonna wait to see where this goes because Rusev is showing he was like in a rage, like he was gonna beat people up. And then Sabian like says something, and he's kind of like, then he starts joking and smiling, and so I don't know. Hopefully this is going somewhere where we see Rusev more vicious, I guess, for lack of a better term, more serious guy. I think he's a guy who can play both comedy and serious very well, but I don't want to see him like a total goofball. I think that's a waste of Rusev. So I'm gonna wait to see where this goes before I lay complete judgment. But as a standalone segment, I wasn't really into it. Lance Archer kills another audience guy. Maybe you shouldn't do that twice in one show. Just the guys beating up the audience. But I'm good with it. So then Jake just starts quoting Pink Floyd, the "Wish You Were Here" song, which I'm a big I love that song, so that was pretty cool. Jake used to do that back in the day, back in the '80s. He would like start. He'd be cutting a promo, and he'd just be like quoting like a Stone song or something, which I always dug. I think I even asked him about that on an In Your Head, and the story is he said was like people will hear that and they'll be familiar with the words even if they don't know where they're from. So if they do know where they're from, like, oh wow, that's a Pink Floyd song. If they don't know where they are but they're still familiar, it stands with them, which is a very interesting thing. Urias says Jake is hit and miss. Maybe for some people he's pretty much hit for me. Sometimes hit and knocks out of the ballpark, I guess. To me, I love Jake, so I thought this was really good stuff. And so I liked, so then Taz comes out, and the idea is, and I like this because it's the heels working together, but at the same time for a reason, and you can tell they don't trust each other. The idea is Team Taz, Cage, and Starks are going to team with Archer, but the idea is they're gonna help him out, but when Archer, or if Archer wins the title, he has to give the first title shot to Brian Cage. I like this. I like that setup. Again, simple. I like it though. It makes sense. You have the heels working together, but they're still bad guys. So they still are just doing it not because they're buddies. They're doing it to try to get something out of them. And so the Moxie starts coming out. And so again, this was smart because Moxie always comes out through the crowd. So they should know that by now, and they do know it by now. So then Cage and Team Taz come out and start beating up Moxley, and then Will Haas comes out for the save, which is interesting because I remember seeing him in the Battle Royal, and I was like, this is a big guy, and he seems athletic and stuff. Maybe you could do something with him. And here's a way to try to get something out of him. You put him with your champ in a tag match, and we'll see what he has. I'm not saying you just push him, but it's a shot. We'll see what happens. And he calls out Darby Allin, and a really good promo by Moxley. We're going to war next week, so you got Will Haas, Moxley, and Darby Allin versus Team Taz and Archer next week. Good. To be good. I mean, that's a good test for Will. Was it Will Haas? I think his name is Will Haas. Yeah, Will Haas, Willpower Will Haas. So we'll see what he's got. They were promoting, plugging next week's show, and so that was cool. I wasn't paying. Urias says Big Hoss has been solid in Dark for months. I don't watch Dark. I should really watch that, but that's cool. It's good. I don't know a lot about him besides he was on the pay-per-view. But what the match I was really intrigued me next week is Orange Cassidy versus Brody Lee. Now everyone knows I'm a huge Orange Cassidy fan. I also think it's obviously one of the fan favorites of AEW, and so he's coming off the win versus Jericho. So in theory, you think he's going to win the belt, but they just really started this Brody Lee push for the title, and I think it's really helped Brody Lee. I think it's been since he stopped the Vince McMahon stuff and he killed Cody. World's different, so I think it's the wrong time to take the belt off Brody, and I think it's definitely the wrong time to beat Orange Cassidy. So you're in a dilemma here. What do you do? This to me is the time to do a double DQ, but we'll find out. They don't really do that much in AEW. They do. I think they have a time limit on the TNT belt. Maybe it's the time to do a time limit. Parking lot. Oh wow! So this was the last match. So this show went by very fast. I thought it was really fast paced. Last week I thought it was a little too heavy on the promos, and some of the promos weren't good for me. A couple of these weren't fantastic to me, but overall, very good show. Matches all worked. You had a good blend of matches and promo to get the characters over. And so then we had the main event, and I like the idea that you can main event your show with the singles or tags or a woman, a male, a woman, or tags. They should all be equally important, and you can potentially main event the show with them. And they've been building up this feud for weeks. Sometimes we will see like a tag team feud built up, WWE. And they won't even get a pay-per-view match. They'll get like maybe they won't even get a match on the pre-show. I know this isn't pay-per-view, but it's the main event of their weekly show, and they don't do a lot of pay-per-views. So to me, this was a good showcase of the guys. Santana Ortiz came out with face paint. I guess that was cool, kind of showing like this is important. We're going to put the face paint on. Versus the best friends. And I'd say right off the bat, I'm a best friends fan, and I like Tito Ortiz and Santana. But I thought this stuff was sweet. This match was like brutal, very violent. I think it really helped the best friends because I find it very entertaining. But I think it was, people always go back to like when it's probably not to this level, but go back to the idea of when Tommy Dreamer is seen as like the white meat baby face, and he's taking all the cane shots in ECW. Not to that level, but I do think it shows that these guys are more than just a comedy. They were taking some crazy bumps, suplex on a car. The ref was counting on the car that was covered in glass. I thought, to me, that was kind of cringy. I was like, "Whoa, I don't think I would be careful of that." They broke a table. They did a spear through a table into the car. Trent came up bleeding, hopefully from the back of his head. I think they said it was from his shoulder. Suplex on the steel barrier, just a lot of crazy stuff. And then at the end, pop open the trunk, and there's Orange Cassidy. I was like, yes, Orange Cassidy, my man. Knocks out, I think it was Santana with the Orange Punch, which I like as his finisher because he can use it on anybody. If you're a smaller guy and you have a finisher that's like a power move, you're only doing it against smaller guys, but he could punch anybody. So he knocks him out he's got a chain wrapped around his hand. I like this a lot. And then they gave the one guy a pile driver on the car, and then they gave Trent gave the other guy his finisher in the back of a pickup. Looked pretty brutal. And they won. Yeah, it was really brutal match. I dug it. I like hardcore stuff. I mean, if it's done well, and this was done well. It was crazy bumps, but they also worked well. And it was a built-up match, built-up feud, so it made sense to do a match like this for this. And then I thought it was awesome. And some people probably won't like the end. I like it. I like some comedy in my wrestling. I'm fine with that. And Trent's mom comes out to bring it all, or is it Chuck's mom? One of the moms comes out with the minivan. They all get in the minivan, start driving off. And then Sue, she flips off Santana Ortiz. Dug it. Really good. Very entertaining, fun and brutal, entertaining. Bam. I thought this was top to bottom, a really fun show. It really flew by to me, which is good. I don't watch Raw anymore, but when I was, one of the reasons I stopped, because it was real, and I don't want to just compare us to Raw, but I'm just saying, it was hard to sit through 3 hours of it. It was like you were just waiting for it to end, and this really flew by. I was actually surprised it was over so quick. So hats off to me, I guess. I really dug it. Really fun show. I know people call me the AEW Mark, but it's a show I look forward to every week. And last week I had some, negative stuff in the pay-per-view. I wasn't, there was stuff I liked, but I wasn't over the moon about it. But this show I thought was great. Really running on all cylinders. I like pretty much everything going on here. I think they advanced all the characters, all the feuds. This probably puts an end to this feud. I think after that match, and you got to do a tag best friends. I think have to go for the tag belts. They won this feud, they won this match. So unless you have some kind of really crazy blow off match to the feud, I wouldn't. I think that's a great blow off. I think you got to go for the belts. I think it's too early to take the belts off FTR, but you don't need to. You can just go for the title match. I think it just makes logical sense. They beat the guys that they've been feuding with in the parking lot fight. Next step, tag match. Works for me. And there's not a ton of babyface teams in AEW, so you got the best friends. You can get a few matches out of them. They have the idea of especially if you do like you did this last time, where they have to win the match to get a title match. You could have them beat FTR in a non-title match, which leads to the title match. So you can spread out the feud a little bit. Lots of things you can do. Yep, I dug it, and I think that would be a good match because they have a lot of silliness and entertainment to them, best friends, but also good wrestlers. And then FTR is a really no nonsense team, so I think they would play off each other very well. You also have Kelly Blanchard outside the ring for for FTR, and you got Orange Cassidy outside the ring for Best Friends, so it works. Very fun show. I like it. All right. Well, let me check Facebook, see if there's any questions here. I'm not gonna. These won't be long shows because the long shows on Tuesday with me and the Inchman. I highly recommend listening to it. I hear those guys they're pretty good dudes. Jackie Jones and the Inchman. You can subscribe to us at all the podcasting sites. Where I know we're on Stitcher now. We used to not be on Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, Anchor, all the good places. All right. Oh, we do have some questions. Vic Schiavone, is this the best episode of Dynamite yet? I don't know if the best, but I'd put it up there as one of the best. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed the program. For all the things I said, the matches were very good. The storylines were, continued. You put over some new guys. You ended this one feud. Yeah, it all worked for me. The commentary was excellent. How else can we support Big Will Hobbs? You might have a Pro Wrestling Tees store. Check it out. I got an email earlier from Pro Wrestling Tees. They got like Halloween shirts coming up. What's going on with Eddie Kingston's crew? Well, I think we're really just seeing the formation of the crew of the family. I know, like I said earlier, that I think a lot of people last week were thinking they were splitting them up, which I didn't think so. And again, this wasn't. So yeah, we're seeing the formation, and then we'll see where they go from there. But it's got the idea is Eddie Kingston's putting them together with kind of like a gang mentality, where it's like the promise of, join this, we're a family, and then you use them to do your bidding. Marty Van Buren, as an AEW mark, would you hastily deter Kip Sabian from tarnishing Penelope's Ford? I don't know about getting away from Penelope. I think Penelope Ford is the star of the two, honestly. But I don't have a problem with those two together. But I would take Rusev away. As the most compelling tag team in AEW history, what does the Butcher and Blade need to get the Booker Man push? I suggest a more topical manager. No, I think the grouping with Eddie Kingston is helping them out quite a bit. I'm a fan of Butcher and the Blade. I like it. Fuck, Mary Kill, Tully Blanchard, Jake the Snake Roberts, and Vicky Guerrero. Wow. I'll just go Mormon and marry them all. Boom. I think that's how it works. All right. We didn't see Vicky this week. I think there was just a one women's match this week. I've been trying to get the AEW figures, but no luck. Can't find them anywhere. But I tried to order them on Walmart.com. No luck. I saw that they have a big ring coming out. It's like or maybe it is. I think it was exclusive to the website. It's an authentic scale, which is interesting because I know as a kid when I'd buy the rings, I would always take the G.I. Joes and put them in the AWA ring and take the top rope off, because then it was like pretty good size, because they always would make the rings way too small for the figure. So it's interesting they make an authentic size ring, because then it's actually big enough to hold, like if you do a battle royal or even do it moves, because a lot of times ring would be so small you really couldn't even do like a suplex or something. It's weird that they make these wrestling toys way better now than when I was a kid. There was some stuff I want to show you, but anyway, I have been collecting. I know you guys will think I'm a goof, but I've been collecting the Masters of the WWE Universe action figures, because huge Masters of the Universe fan as a kid, and they're making so many Masters of the Universe style figures now. They put out a horror set of guys, which I bought. It was like Leatherface and Jason, Michael Myers, Pinhead. I might be missing somebody. Really cool. I bought all those, and then the Masters of WWE Universe. So like, this is sweet. They have, they're the He-Man looking guys, and they all have like stuff like the Sting one has like a big scorpion arm. I was like, I love these things. They're pretty sweet. If I'd have been a kid, these would have been my favorite toys. Hell, I'm not a kid. Still pretty sweet. But let's be honest, they make these toys for people my age because people, we grew up watching or playing or watching too the cartoon, but grew up with He-Man figures, and then they make a Legend Sting and Jake the Snake, and no kids buying that. All right, so yeah, I didn't get the Sting one yet because he's pretty expensive. I've got I need Macho, Sting, and Warrior, I think, maybe Undertaker. I have all the rest. But there's a new series coming out, Mr. T, The Fiend. I should probably look up the pictures, but I wanted to show you guys something though. All right. So the Roosevelts, they make really sweet T-shirts. Not T-shirts, Hawaiian shirts, button-up shirts. All right. So they also put out some WWE ones, which you've seen me wear in various things. If you've seen Umbilicus Desidero, my short documentary, I'm wearing the Undertaker one. I think on the show I've worn the Macho Man one. I don't know if I ever wore the Razor Ramon one on the show or not, but I have a Razor Ramon one. But anyway, you got some new ones here. I'm going to show you guys. We used to do this on the old Jackie Jones show, merchandise. So we don't do this a lot on Internet. So I'm going to show you guys some merchandise here on the show. Screen 2. What's going on here, boys? I don't think that worked. Let's try this again. Screen 2. Do it up. All right. I think that only shows a small part of the screen, eh? All right. So anyway, this is the Bray Wyatt one. The Firefly Funhouse one. Pretty cool. The thing is, like, they're $65. Pretty expensive for Hawaiian shirt, but they are really nice quality. The thing is, I'm part of their there's like a fan page, and it's for people who are really into the Roosevelt shirts. And some of them go for hundreds of dollars. People will buy them all and then sell them on eBay because they're really limited. And some of them go. There was one that was really limited to just like 150, not a WWE one, and it went for like $1,000 on eBay. So they have both Bray Wyatt and the Fiend one. That one's really cool. Let me in shirt again, $65. So I'm not gonna. I don't like the Fiend that much. Macho Man one. Whoops. Well, here's the Razor Ramon one. I actually have this one. I'll be honest, I got a little cheaper than $65, but don't tell anybody that. It's pretty sweet. People tell me I'm oozing machismo when I'm wearing it. Trying to show you this one. Where is it? Oh yeah, here you go. This is a new Macho Man one. It's like an old classic picture of him. It's kind of cool, but I like the other Macho Man one better than one I have. Oh, but this one's pretty nice. This is the one I would probably buy if I was going to buy another one, but I don't want to pay $65 for it. But if you're out there watching size medium, which they don't have, they only have left small and 4X, so I'm sure that luck. But Hogan versus Warrior, it's pretty nice. All right. There you go. Yeah, that one's pretty sweet. Yeah, I think that's it. You want to see the Masters of the... I'll post them on the... Well, Golgo's not on the... Golgo, look up Masters of the WWE Universe figures. They're pretty cool. I dig them. Series C, Wave 5 is, I don't think they actually have the real figures. They just have the art, the concept art, but it's Ricky the Dragon, Steamboat, Becky Lynch, Rowdy Piper. That's the one I want, Roddy Piper. The Legends ones seem to be go for a lot more money because people like me, that's what we're going. It's like, yeah, I'll get the Becky Lynch just to complete the set, but not like I'm dying to get a Becky Lynch figure. Yeah, Urias, I agree. That's the one I would get if I was going to get another one. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Let's see. Masters of the WWE Universe. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Telling you, if you're a He-Man, if you're a fan of old He-Man figures, things are pretty sweet. Basic screen 2. Let's see. I don't know if that's working right or not. So we got Hulk Hogan one. This one, this Hogan one is part of a, it's the new ring because they have the Castle Grayskull ring. And then they have the Snake Mountain ring coming out, and it comes with this Hogan figure and Stone Cold figure. Here's the Castle Grayskull ring. I actually have this ring because I'm a really cool dude. You can get this ring too with like a special Cena and Triple H, but I couldn't find it. I wasn't really wanting to pay a whole bunch of money, but so here you can see though, here's Rey Mysterio up here. There's a Macho Man, Triple H. I have that Triple H and that Rey. Warriors over here. Finn Balor's the Demons, pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's kind of like they made Roman Reigns like Fisto, so he's got the big fist, which makes sense because he does the Superman punch. The Faker Sting, I mean Cena, which I really should have done. Darren Young is the Faker Cena, and then Sting, who's got he's like the Clawful from the old He-Man guys. Here's Wave 4, which you can pre-order. I think it comes out pretty soon. You get Jake the Snake, which one's really cool. Mr. T's like the double Fisto. I like that one. And the Fiend one's really nice. And Seth Rollins. If you could see the New Day one, I'll just show you this picture. So the New Day one, it's a YouTube. I don't want to show YouTube. Well, here, the New Day one, if you guys remember Manny Faces, where it's like a robot, a monster, and like a human guy, and you could switch the faces. So the New Day one is all 3 guys from New Day, and you can change your faces, which I think is pretty fun. Undertaker is like, I forget the guy's name, but he was like a glowing, it might have been Skull Glow, and I think about it, he's like Skull Glow, Braun Strowman, The Rock. But here's Series 5, which isn't out yet, but it'll be out eventually. This is just a concept art. By the way, these are, I believe they're Walmart exclusive. So let's see. We got Becky Lynch. Kind of like Evil Lynn with the serpent thing. It's pretty cool. I like this idea because, like, I guess it'd be like the idea that if they're going to do the NWO versions, that they'll be the Hordak versions. I like that. That works for me. So you got the Hordak Macho. You got to do Hordak Hogan at some point. Then if you're going to do that, maybe Hall and Ash will eventually be in those. This is sweet. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And I forget the name of the old GI Joe, the old He-Man guy who had that. He had like a you put water and it would squirt out of the mouth. So I think that's what that'll do. The surprise squirt, which I know all the ladies are squirting right now, thinking, look at this guy's playing with these action figures. Pretty sweet dude here. And of course the Rowdy Piper one. Oh man, that's what I'm all about. So he's got the battle armor, which it'll go, with this different scratches. That's pretty cool. That's the must-have for me. Actually all three of those. The only one, Becky Lynch, I would just get just to have them all, but these three, those three, that's right. Forget the girls. It's all about the boys club. But anyway, that's those. Hey, while we're here, let's go to let's see if there's any new shirts at WWE.com. Well, screw WWE. Let's go to Pro Wrestling Tees. What's going on here? Pro Wrestling Tees. I've got multiple screens, so sometimes a little hard. Let's see what's new in Pro Wrestling Tees while we're here. Golgo saying I'm thinking of pre-ordering the Walmart exclusive G.I. Joe retro toys coming out next month, since G.I. Joe was my favorite. Yeah, I would pre-order them because they probably won't last very long. Look. I wonder if he's still allowed to do that. Mike Rotundo's been fired. Is he allowed to sell or run our shyster stuff? I say let the guys do it, but I kind of doubt WWE thinks this. I mean, I can't yell at them if they don't. I mean, let's see. New arrivals. We got Hobo. Who the fuck's Hobo? Oh, that's a Tony Schiavone shirt. I don't get it. Tony Schiavone. It must be from his podcast. So I don't listen. Nothing against that. I just don't know. Dan Housen, who I heard about on the Facebook group, but I don't know him either. Simon Grimm. I don't know who that is. Effie. Man, I don't know who any of these people are. I know Tony Schiavone, but I have no idea what the reference is to. I'll just go over stuff I know, but they do have a lot of Pro Wrestling Tee Halloween shirts. They need a Halloween Havoc shirt. They probably don't own the rights to that. Impact World Champion Eric Young shirt. So I'm not getting any of these. I would get a Halloween. Oh, this ain't bad. The Pro Wrestling Tee ones are only $12.99. Sorry, I thought maybe they'd be full price. I wouldn't pay $25, but I probably wouldn't pay that $12.99 either. But at least they're half price. I like this. I don't know who they are really, besides my brother's into New Japan, but Los Ingubernales de Japón Halloween shirt. I like that. I would get that. Man, that one's $30. Bullet Club Trick or Treat. Does Bullet Club even still exist? This one's only $8, but looks like something you just get at Walmart. I'm a big fan of Rusev Miro, but I don't think I'd buy the Best Man shirt. Anna Jay, the Queen Slayer. Abaddon, that's a really nice shirt. They haven't used her much since they brought. I like her. Crazy Steve. Mayhem. Oh, it's a Roddy Piper shirt. I don't get it. I don't get all these Schiavone shirts, but I don't listen to the podcast. I don't know what's going on. A lot of Piper shirts. He must have just been added to Pro Wrestling Tees. So I would get, I don't care for that. I'd get the classic Hot Rod shirt. I'd probably get it. That white one, I mean, that's the classic one. If anybody out there is listening, large or medium for Jackie Jones, Neil Jones, 2 Campbell Street, Sandwich, Mass, 02563. If you guys send me something, I'll open it here on the show and I'll wear it on the show and I'll give you guys credit. By the way, I forgot to write down the names, but I'm going to start giving shout outs to everyone who's donated to the website. And that includes Vic Schiavone, Mike Fink, and the man in here, Golgo 13, Jay Platts, a lot of good people. I'll get all the names starting next week. I'm sorry. And I'll do that every week. You can still do that. Just you can donate on the Anchor page, anchor.fm, and you can set it up for whatever month. It would really help pay for all the added cost and time of moving the website, because I have to restore the whole website. Team Nasty. You can also send it to PayPal. It's right on the website at iwhitewrestling.com. The Nasty Team World. Is that the Nasty Boys shirt? Weird. That's pretty cool. Ivan Koloff. I mean, I like Ivan Koloff. I wish it was a better shirt. I don't like it when they take a picture of someone and they cut off, they just like have these harsh cuts. Eater of Worldhausen, Galactus shirt. I'm a Tony Schiavone guy. That one's cool. See, I like this Uncle Ivan shirt because it doesn't have the. It's more clean. I like that. Yeah, I'd wear that. I don't know who a lot of these people are. Are you having fun watching me look at stuff? Golgo says, I hate that toys that are Walmart exclusives. I know you can get them online elsewhere, but I like to buy toys at actual store. Yeah, I mean, but where can you get? I've always felt that way, but the thing is, there aren't Toys R Us anymore. And I used to would rather buy like when I used to do Games Workshop stuff or D&D or whatever. You had a hobby shop, but they would be so much more than you can buy them other places. And it's one thing if it's a couple bucks, but if you're paying like $20 more, masks. It's really now. I'm not an anti-mask guy. I'm actually a pro-mask guy, but it is weird to me that everywhere you go now, masks are just something you can get. It's like I can get a shirt, a hat with logos I want, or a mask. It's really strange. So I don't know how I feel about it. It's almost like you're profiting off someone wearing a mask. But you can also see it as it's making the mask look cool, so people are more likely to wear it. I like these because I collect the micro brawlers. So you got the micro brawlers, which are little figures from Pro Wrestling Tees. You got them on the shirts. I like those. Any of those would be cool. I like the Macho King probably best. The Spoiler Club, Dick Togo. Dick Togo, he's not still around, is he? Wasn't he around? He was like around as a kid, I think. I'm probably gonna stop going through these because I don't know hardly any of these people. I'll just say I like them, but come on. Free Swaghausen. Who the hell's Purple Jerk? I'm sure these people would say, who the hell's Jackie Jones? All Out shirts, those are pretty nice. I think it's weird buying a pay-per-view shirt if you weren't there, unless it's like a classic, like, from the 80s or something. Dark Order as fuck shirt. That's kind of funny. Oh, here we go. I'd like this one. The Sheik and Sabu. That's really cool. The old school Sheik, the original Sheik and Sabu. I like that shirt a lot. I thought this was Orange Cassidy. I don't know who the hell that is. Ace Austin. So Danhausen, he just took a picture with Orange Cassidy. And he's like, I'm going to throw this on a shirt. So many of the Orange Cassidy shirts are white. I'm not a big fan of white tees. And it's just because I'm always afraid you get something on, it's just ruined. I go walking around town. If I get something white on it, boom, it's gone. Meanie Tunes, I like that. All right. Well, a lot of people, I don't know who the hell they are. If you're going to buy me a shirt, I like this one, The Butcher and the Blade. That's actually a really cool shirt. So if you're going to buy me one, probably an AEW guy or a classic guy. That's usually what I'm going to do. Look, I really like whoever did the artwork on that. Huh. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Butcher and the Blade shirt. The artwork's great. Whoever did the illustrations. I like cartoony shirts. All right. Very cool. I'm not looking at... Anyway, go to Pro Wrestling Tees. Help support independent wrestlers and in the legends out there. I'm going to try to get some In Your Head shirts up. So if anybody out there is into graphic design and you'd like to design something from the Headyverse, it could be, Jack shirt, 1-inch bicep shirt, In Your Head shirt. It could be someone from the Headyverse. It could be, a classic line from the show. It could be, El Santo Loco or a Job shirt. Probably not Gogo 13 will get sued by Nintendo. Juju B, Clinton, Lexar. I think people are dying for a Lexar tee. Whatever it is. Gummy bear. I should make a gummy bear shirt. Gummy worm shirt. I might do that actually. I won't say gummy worms, but you get the idea. All right. Anyway, if you're into that idea, email me at iwatchwrestling@gmail.com. Live Thursday night. We also do this on YouTube, but it's not on the In Your Head page. It's on the Without Your Head page. So you go to youtube.com/Without Your Head/live, or you just go to withoutyourhead.com/live. There's a big link right, which I should put on In Your Head too. And we're live tomorrow night with the cast and crew of Teacher Shortage, new horror movie, independent horror film that's on Amazon Prime right now. And so we're going to have the casting from that, and including Brink Stevens, a Scream Queen sex symbol from the 80s. So that'll be very fun. We'll be on the show. In Your Head face mask for us germaphobes. I like that. I mean, I could just do the straight up In Your Head logo on a mask. What do you think? Even my hats are big for me now since I lost a lot of weight. You wouldn't look, because I was noticing when I have it down, like my ears look really big. It's because the hat's really big and it makes my ears stick out. I could even put it over my ear. I didn't think I'd lose weight in my head. That's what happens. I used to wear 7 5/8 hats, but now they're too big. 7 5/8, 7.5. They're too big now. It's weird, but anyway, I ain't complaining. I'd rather keep buying new stuff than being a big fat ass. So anyway, that's but really, I feel much better. I'm not dying. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys for watching this. This is very fun. I'm gonna do these every Wednesday night, every Tuesday night In Your Head. I don't have anyone lined up, but we are working on some legends returning to the show. We got to figure out which legends know how to use Zoom. It'll be fun. I throw out some names I'm talking to, but I don't know if they can do it or not. So we'll find out. Possibly the Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez, George South, Dr. D, David Schultz. We'll find out. These are all in the works, but we're going to figure out if they can use the Zoom. I guess they could just call in and we could be on video. We'll figure out anyway. It'll be fun to do some interviews again here on In Your Head. I do a million of them on Without Your Head. All right. Disco Inferno. That'd be good. Yeah, I'm sure he'd probably do it. He knows how to use the Zoom. And he mentions us sometimes on Keeping It 100. So that'd be cool. A Stream Daddy shirt. Techningo says. Manny could tell some stories about being a nom. It's true. I'd love to get Funk back on. I don't know if he's a Zoom guy. I'm sure anyone could be. I do think, though, there's a couple things here. So all these wrestlers do shows. So they're doing all these, podcasts with Jim Ross and everybody. So I get that. I also think, though, people like Hannibal paying the guys to do shows probably makes it hard for someone to come on for a free show. Unless I already have an established relationship with them. I don't know. Could be wrong, but that's my that's what I'm thinking. Leilani Kai, we've had on the show. Mabin? I don't know who that means. Who's Mabin? All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for donating and helping pay for the sites. It's been a lot of work. I'm only on 2019 on In Your Head. It's going to take me a long time to update all 16 years, but I'm glad we didn't lose it. Big thanks to Tyler, the silent member of In Your Head. He backed up everything. Intro didn't do shit. So screw that guy. No, don't screw him, but he didn't help out. But anyway, it was me. I'm sure he would have if he probably wouldn't. But me and Tyler, all kidding aside, really, it was a lot of crazy work, and it's still a lot of work getting all these shows up. So if you'd like to help donate to pay for all this stuff, because I was tempted to just say, we've done this for 15 years. Maybe this is a sign. Get out. Just stop doing it. But And the other, I think it reinvigorated me to not just keep going, but really put my all into the show. And I started looking at all these archives of the show, and it's like, holy shit, we've interviewed all these people, we built a community. Some people go, but people like Gogo 13, they've been here since day one, and they're still around. You know, that means something to me. So yeah, so it's a lot of work, costs a lot of money too, but yeah, the show, it will be back. It is back, but all the archives will be back here eventually. Subscribe in all the however you get your podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Anchor. Leave comments on those two and rate us, please. It would help. Also share them on your social media pages. That helps. Subscribe here on the YouTube page. Leave some comments. That is good for us. Rate us. I noticed there's a couple people always give us thumbs down as soon as it shows up. I'm sure they're just some trolls, whatever. Maybe they just genuinely don't like the show. Why you keep watching? I'm not sure. But it's weird because it's as soon as the show is up, 2 negatives come up. What can you do? All right. And we'll see you guys all soon. Mike Whitcomb, Gogo 13, Joe Knights, Urias Tosh, Vic Schiavone, and all the fine people missing. Good night.